First off the rank, obviously Adelaide. Chris Burgess in. Tom Doty, probably the big free agent, the big talking point for Adelaide.
Yeah, so they get pick 20 as compensation. They would have been pretty happy with that. And they did a pretty decent deal to get Burgess in and even increase their draft hand a little bit in that trade with the Gold Coast Suns. So that was pretty promising. So the other player movement for them was Shane McAdam leaving. They lost some picks in the mid-20s, but their draft hand reads as 10, 14, 20. And then if they want a fifth round pick, they've got that at their disposal as well. But 3 picks in the top 20, pick 10 might move back 2 to 3 spots. Pick 14 could move back 3 to 4 spots, and pick 20 could move back 4 to 5 spots. So it's going to be interesting to see how that finishes up. But no, they I think they did quite well to bring in Burgess, so they get some support after losing McAdam, albeit there might be different players in a way. Mm-hmm. They lose Duday, which they probably wanted to keep, but I think they'll be happy with the compensation they get. And then on top of that, James Borlase maybe gets a new deal, given they didn't do too much else to their back line. Elliot Himmelberg was expecting to get a move, but that was only going to come if they could add another forward in, which they didn't. So he'll stay on for another year before he hits free agency. And then I think the Crows also got in Melbourne's future second round pick to add to their 2024 hand, which will help them in next year's draft when they look to get Tyler Welsh in, who's a top-rated father-son prospect. So they'll be looking to move a few picks around potentially before next year gets underway over the coming weeks.
Yeah, so not the biggest names coming in. I have them as a rise up next year to sort of rise up a few spots on the ladder just based on how they went this year, and obviously lost those close ones. They could have been playing finals. So interesting one from Adelaide. Anything else to add on to?
No, I'm with you. I think that they're one of the clubs that should be coming on the up, but at the same time, there's probably half a dozen of the clubs that finished in the bottom 10 that really should be coming up quite strong, whether it's off the back of this trade period or off the back of what we already saw from the season. And they were obviously quite unfortunate not to make finals. So have they improved their list? I don't think so, going off their trade plans, but from the, I guess, line that they were already moving on with a young core group was pretty. It should have them in good stead still. There was that frantic 48 hours where they could have got Clayton Oliver, and that would have been quite different. But no, they'll be quite happy, I think, with the outcome of their trade period. Sets them up well for both this year and next year's drafts. And yes, they're a top 8 contender next year as well. So they're like I said, they're in good stead.
Yeah, absolutely. That 48 hours where they almost took Clary, I think, aged me about 10 years.